Good afternoon here in the UK, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wanted to do a conversation that's on the heading today of how do we heal the traumatized child? So, what's really lovely about what's going on at this moment in time is that there are many people that are out. I'm hoping that you can hear me. If you can you just message down below before I start breaking into song? I've just realised. Let's just double check that we're on. I get so keen and excited to speak. Hopefully, I can't see on my wall. Hopefully, I'm on. It's saying it's on, I think, yeah. So please comment below if you can hear me. Let me know where you're from and let me know how you're doing, because what we're currently going through is an not amazing, it is an amazing time. But we're going through, and I can't remember what the word was there. There was a word that popped in. We're going through an incredible time. So we can't go outside, or we're limited from going outside. So the only place that we can go is inside, and inside ourselves. So as we go inside ourselves, because we're being pushed, our buttons are being pushed. We've never been in a space like this before, apart from when we were children, maybe, where we didn't have any cares, where we were just free and able to do what we wanted to do in many ways. So we've never had this experience of liberation. We've never had this freedom. And that comes with some issues, because if we've never experienced this, and maybe you have experienced this, if you're somebody who's been poorly, maybe for a long time, and have been in the house, or you're somebody who's actually just decided to live off grid, somebody who's been woken up for a long time and just thought, this world is not for me. Let me step off this rat race. Let me step back into being. So we're so used to doing that now we're into a space of being, and that takes some observation. So as we are observing ourselves, and maybe you haven't got into observing who you are, but I really encourage people to observe what's going on, because this is a really huge opportunity to change our world. And it really is, because many of us, I think, I'm saying many of us because I've been reaching out to people for a long time, for over 20 years, when I had a vision of nurturing seedlings to reach their full potential. And at the time I was in Preston and I was working at a charity. And it's really interesting, actually, because I think, other than through my storytelling, this is not a conversation that I've had live on Facebook, but I know that this experiences were meant to happen for this reason, for this very reason right now, because I qualify for somebody who has adapted to change for many, many years. I qualify, and so do you. But it's just that we need to find out how you think you are and have adapted to change and get onto a similar page. So this time in our existence, or revolution or evolution, it is about revolutionarizing the way that we care. Because many of us may have had experiences and kept them to ourselves, because it's kind of like, don't really want to talk about that. That's no big deal. Those flippant comments are actually a big deal, because I believe that all our roles are to help each other in can be very subtle ways. So I just got a message from a friend who kind of highlighted about trauma, of being traumatized as a child. And that sparked something in me. Now, that person doesn't realize just how much that has sparked something in me. It's a trigger. Now, it's not about that conversation. It's about how I've responded to those words. Now, what that person's helped me to do is to remember. So that member of humanity has helped to trigger a memory in me that then helps me to bring this message to Facebook. It's as simple as that. Now, the reason why it triggered so much is because all of us are currently in a space of going within. And to go within means that we have got triggers that are going around in our bodies that we're being triggered. Many of us, I'm just hoping that you can hear me actually. Many of us, I'm just making sure. Maybe not actually. Let's see if somebody sent a message through. Many of us, no, there isn't a message there about the call. If anybody's on, then you can send a love. If you can send some love, then that'll be really good. And then I know that I'm on and I'm being heard. Yes, thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate you being online. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. So I'm coming through loud and clear. Please let me know where you're from and let me know if this is resonating with you. And also as well, how you deal with trauma. And it might not be that people want to put this on Facebook onto like an open Facebook, but you know what? We've got nowhere else to hide anymore now. This is about how do we reach out to each and every one of us? How do we share who we are? I do have a group called We Are the Ambassadors of Change. If you're not in that group, then do message me so that you can be added to that group. But it's a bit more intimate, really. It's a bit more private, and people are able to share a bit more openly if they choose to. We're not used to sharing. So the whole point about the traumatized child is that many of us are in adult bodies, and so talking about childhood traumas is not really the place that you want to go to. None of us really want to go there, but you know, really, why not? There's nowhere else to go, you know, to really step into our full potential as humanity. We have to go into some places that we've not visited for a long time. Why? Because we need to reclaim ourselves. That is where our power lies. That is where our truth lies. Our truth lies within ourselves. But if we've never had the opportunity, and this is the first time ever in our history that we're able to go back and rescue that inner child. It might sound a bit dramatic, but you know what? It's really important. And it's really important because there's some bigger picture things going on right now, and we have to rescue our children. And I know for me, this process that has been, I was gifted this from a young child. I was gifted the opportunities of being traumatized on so many levels, being traumatized, being in a family where we were traumatized so much because of the color of our skin, you know. And so I believe that for me, just make sure that this is still on. I believe for me that, sorry, I'm just making sure, I don't know if I can't see any loves coming up. And then I know that yes, there is. Thank you so much, Shoshana Josephine. Thank you so much. Oh, blessed. You know, that's touched me to see all those hearts. I thank you. Full of love and light, success and happiness. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for all the love, because it's so important for us to share our light. It's so important for us to succeed and be happy in this life that we're living. And we can be, but we have to go into some places that might feel uncomfortable. But you know what, if we're all going there, I used to be so frightened of the dark. When I think about it, I used to be so frightened of the darkness, that imagine if all of us as children, and it's understandable, but if we all went together, what if we all grabbed each other's hands and just, we've got two hands, just grab two hands and go into that space together to shine the light, to blast the light into those areas of darkness, because that's what this time is all about. This time is about just shifting everything that's been hidden from us, everything that's been unrevealed. It's about shifting through shining our light. Now, I know that I've been doing this work for a long time, and I say work, it's a way of being. Unmasking the truth is not an easy thing to do. It is not easy, but it's the only thing to do to create balance in our world. Many of us are frightened to go there. I'm prepared to go there with you. I just ask that you hold my hand and don't let go. Just hold my hand to share our truth, because it's the children of this world that are going to make a difference. The children of this earth are us. We are those children. Inside us, that little child is in need of being rescued by you as the adult. It's about going back and saying, do you know what? I had you back, and I'm coming here now to reclaim you. And as we reclaim our truth as that traumatized child, we bring healing and we bring love. We become that adult for that child. Because many of our parents, thank you so much for the love. I can see them coming up on the phone. Thank you so much. Many of us, even as parents, I'm a parent to my children. All children are my children. That's how I see it, that we're all children, so therefore we are sisters. And I know when I gave birth to my two children, my two precious angels, they taught me so much about rescuing me. I remember having my daughter and thinking, now is my time to nurture my little girl, my inner self. I wasn't strong enough emotionally to raise my children. I was still going through the process, and bless them, they chose me to come through me to experience this earth. And I knew before I had them that they were gifts back to the universe. They were gifts back to mother. They're not mine. We don't own anything. We don't own anything. We're just here having an experience and being able to let go and not attach to anything. I encourage you to release those inner children, because once we do, our world is transformed, because we are our world. And if we transform us, then we transform our outer world. And right now, we are being forced, because we've taken too long to really see the imbalances, and because we've always thought where we weren't enough, that it wasn't enough for us just to be. So now we've been given an opportunity to go back in ourselves and to emerge. This is a moment of reset, to emerge into the truth of who you are and who you are meant to be. We are meant to shine the light for other people, to say, do you know what, don't fear anything. There's no need for fear. We have to rise up into being our true selves. And that involves a certain structure. My structure that it's been gifted to me, is to be able to gift gifts back to humanity. And those gifts are gifts of love. And that's what I invite you to take my hand and find out more. It's quite interesting, because it is about finding that childlike wonder. And that's what I feel like right now is here. I've been given these gifts for over 22 years of how do I help to give these gifts back to humanity. And that gift back to humanity is you, is shining your best you. Life is different. Life is never going to go back to how it used to be, which is fantastic, because our world was not good. Our world, we just took, just take. What are we giving? How are we giving? That's what we're teaching. That's what we're learning. How do we give back? The first thing that we do is to give back to you. And that's why I invite you. I have a game that's a gift back to humanity. I invite you to come and play. It doesn't cost you anything, because we managed to work it out how we can do it online. And that gift is to empower you, to align you to your truth. So we sit and we play. We usually have a cup of healthy coffee, and we just talk, but it's a very structured way. It's a very fun way. And what it does, it helps to release your childlike wonder. All those memories that you had as a child of how you wanted the world to be, they're here now. They're waiting for you to claim them. But you just have to step through this process. And that process, like I said, it's empower in an hour. It takes an hour, less than an hour, to really start getting you to align to, actually, that's a memory that I had. That's a dream that I had that I'd forgotten about. When you think about it, it's kind of like we come into this world, and maybe you was born in hospital, and so you was in this structured building. And then you go into this home, and it's a structured building with strong foundations. And then we go into school, structured building. We go into church, a structured building. We may be part of a government, structured building. We never get a chance to have that free flow, that the natural. We came from nature. We came from nature. So when do you get back into nature? If you've always lived in a city, I was born in a city and lived in a city. But what brought me joy was playing with my friends and my family. Even though it didn't feel like there was lots of times where there was joy. When I tap back into joy, my mum always made sure that we had gifts at Christmas time. And so we had those happy moments. And in a way, that's what we're in now. We're in moments of joy. But we have to reach for them and choose those moments and know that actually this moment is all that we have. But we've never really learned, how do we adapt to change? How do we really appreciate what is around us? Because we've taken it for granted. We've taken all this structured stuff for granted. So I invite you to take my hand. I invite you to, let's go there. You know, I'm ready. I'm ready to help you to go there, because it's a bit lonely, actually. You know, when you're in a space of recognizing, and this isn't, recognizing that this is a movement, this is about reaching out to people and all of us going there. Many of us have been taught how to do this in separation, how to get the job, how to go there, make sure that your family's okay and that you're protected and everything's okay in your world. Sorry, but we've all just stepped into our world. But how do we navigate our world? We navigate our world together, each of us triggering each other as a remembrance of who you really are. This is about advanced soul growth. We've never been used to our souls growing. We've tapped into personal development, but personal development is very much an alone activity. We don't get the chance to actually have somebody mirror who we are. And we can only do that in human form. So if you're going through personal development and you're going through your modules or whatever, well, that's all fine, well and good. But let's step it up. Let's step it up to the soul growth that's needed in order to help transform our world into the world that we've all dreamt of. Every single one of us has got a dream. Every single one of us has got a jigsaw to this puzzle. But the first thing we need to do is to get over this bridge of transition. And that's where we are right now. Are you ready to take my hand? Keep an eye on my page, because I don't always get, there aren't always notifications for people when I go live. Tap into the ambassador group. We are the ambassadors of change. Look it up. I will put it in the attachment here at some point, but don't wait for that. Just look up, we are the ambassadors of change, because this is about going for what you want, going for what is right in this moment. And what is right is to go within, to find and to reintegrate your inner child in this moment. The traumatized child will be freaking out right now, because it's kind of like doesn't know what to do. The structures that it was part of have broken down. It's like, oh my gosh, where do I go? You go within, you stay within, but you find, you grab hold of our hands and we just keep on going together. It's an adventure. It's about discovering our childlike wonder. It's about integrating your adult into your child and bringing this wonderful gift to the world. That wonderful gift to the world is you. That is where your God consciousness is. And once you tap into your God consciousness, it's not God out there. It's not, God is out there in the world. But there's not as in preached in the Bible, where God's going to come down from heaven. God's already here. And this is our wake-up call of what are you going to do in order to be able to really nurture the God within, because as we nurture the God within, we're nurturing the God outside of ourselves. That's the key. Nurture the God within. Be in touch. Thank you so much for being here today and for tapping into the live and for sending all that love. And you can send the love even if you're on replay as well. Please share this video to as many people as you're able to, because it's in the sharing. You've got answers for people, and part of the answer in doing things like what I'm doing right now is to find each other. We're not used to helping each other out, and yet there are some of us that are givers, and it's the givers that I want to speak with first. Those people that are giving because it's the right thing to do, because they feel it in their hearts. These gifts that have been given to the universe through me are gifts back to you. And so I've worked out a way of how to co-create together, and how we reach out to many people just by offering them the gift to reconnect and align with themselves. I thank you so much for watching and for interacting. It brings so much joy to my heart, and I really do. I thank you, and I wish you a wonderful day, and do join the We Are the Ambassadors of Change group, because there you're going to find home. Bye bye for now.